On our podcast today, we are joined by Miss Linda Macleod, former principal of Gulgong High School. Miss Macleod is now principal at a brand new high school in Sydney called Arthur Philip Highschool and is a successful netball coach. Enjoy her story. Thank you so much for being a guest on Radio JPS. We appreciate you giving us your time today. My name is Charlie Andrews and I am joined today by Mikayla and Tahlia.
Hi.
Hi.
As former principal of Gulgong High School, do you look back fondly on your time at Gulgong?
I absolutely do. I really enjoyed, I think it was 3.5 years there. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really enjoyed being part of a small community. I loved being part of a small regional high school, but I also liked the fact that we were right next door to Gulgong Public School. And when Mr. Lewis came along, we used to do a lot of things between the high school and the primary school, and I really liked that. And one of the reasons was my first teaching appointment was in a central school that was from kindergarten to year 12. So it had that feel about it, but I absolutely look back fondly on my time at Gulgong without a doubt.
What do you miss most about the town or the school?
Probably the town, just being part of the community and seeing people up the street and being able to talk to them. Definitely the school, little things, because it was a smaller school, I knew the name of every student in the school. And I know you're going to ask me about the school I'm at now a bit later on, but that's definitely different. I knew the name of every student in the school, knew most of their families. I used to be able to go around and wish them all happy birthday because that was possible. So I really miss just being part of that small community and knowing the students really, really well.
What has been your favourite school to teach at or lead and why?
It has to be Gulgong High School, right? I didn't even have to think about that. It is, and I've had lots of jobs that I really enjoy, and I love being a principal, and they've all been very different. But absolutely, without a doubt, my favourite school to be at was Gulgong High School. There was something unique about it at the time. The staff were amazing. The students were amazing. We got some really great results. And, yeah, my absolute favourite job in my whole life was being the principal of Gulgong High School.
Where did you go and where are you now?
Well, I'm now in a very different place to Gulgong. I'm in Sydney, living in Parramatta, which I don't know if you saw the news last night, but Parramatta is really, really growing. It's becoming like the second CBD or Central Business District of Sydney. And I'm at a school called Arthur Philip Highschool, which is a public comprehensive high school from year 7 to 12 that has 1,560 students, and it's in a 13-storey high-rise building. So today we have our year 6 students here that are joining us in year 7. We have 272 students starting with us in year 7 next year, which was almost the total number of students at Gulgong High School when I was there. So it's only 3 years old, the school, and it's got everything that you could probably want in a school. It's brand new. Students travel around the school using lifts. We've got lots of technology, so it's very, very different. So that's where I am now.
Mr. Lewis told us there is over 1,000 kids in your school and it's brand new. It must be pretty cool being principal of a huge new building and school.
It's very cool, but it's very challenging. And one of the things I was saying to you about being the principal of Gulgong High School was I knew every student. There is no way I can know every student here. And the school here is very multicultural. So we have 93% of our students are students from non-English speaking backgrounds. So, that's fascinating in itself, but I certainly don't know the students very well at all because in the building that we're in, I don't see them very often. I don't even see some of the teachers probably. In a week I might not see all of them. So, but it is pretty cool, but it's got its challenges.
Do you think it's a good idea to have a really big school?
It's got its advantages, but I actually think having a nice small school like Gulgong High School has a lot of advantages, just in terms of getting to know the students really well, having small class sizes. As long as, the students there look outside of Gulgong for opportunities. That doesn't mean they have to leave Gulgong, but just be aware of what's out there. So looked at, being in a big school is great, and obviously the facilities here are great, but it's not as nice as being in a small community, I have to say.
You are also a netball coach, and Balaji tells us you are coaching down in Sydney. How is it, and who do you coach?
I love my netball, so I'm doing a few different things. I'm coaching for Netball New South Wales, so I run coaching clinics for coaches. I was the coach of the New South Wales Regional Emerging Talent Squad, which are the players who've just missed out on the New South Wales team. I do selections for different squads, but my big reason for moving to Sydney was coaching Premier League, which sits just underneath the Suncorp Super Netball. And I was the assistant coach with South Coast Blaze, and I loved it. It was very busy though, because we trained Monday night, played Wednesday night, and we didn't often get onto the court until 8:45 at night, and then we trained Saturday morning. But I absolutely loved it, and I learnt a lot, and the players were very talented.
Do you have any ambitions to coaching in super netball competitions in the future?
Look, I wouldn't say never, but at this stage, no. I think my coaching path might stay where it is at the moment. Maybe down the track a head coach of a Premier League, but I'm not quite sure I'm at that level to do Suncorp Super Netball, but I do go and watch, and I do interact with quite a few of the players. I don't know, you're a netball nut. Do you know Jo Harton, who played for England and also plays for the Giants netball?
I have heard of him, yes.
Yeah, so she has just retired. She was the captain of England. She was actually at a coaching course I ran the other week. Like, that was amazing. And last weekend I was at the Tie-Dye Project, where they raise money for children's cancer. And Caitlin Bassett was there, who used to play for Australia, Amy Parmenter, Jamie Lee Price, a lot of the Suncorp Super Netball on Australian players were there. So being in Sydney, you get to come across those players and coaches, and it's been great.
Do you have any advice for the young kids from Gulgong?
Oh, I just think my advice is just work hard, do subjects that you enjoy, but don't be afraid to ever take a risk and step out of your comfort zone. And I said that to students from Dubbo when I moved to Sydney. It was a big risk for me to move to Sydney. It was out of my comfort zone. I haven't lived in Sydney since I was 17. And I think, sometimes with the greatest risk come the greatest reward. So my advice would be, pursue your dreams and your passions, and don't let anyone tell you that you can't do that.
Students who were at Gulgong High School when you were there are now in Year 11.
I know, I can't believe that. That time's gone so quickly. And I do sometimes hear from ex-students of Gulgong High School who'll ring me and say, have you got advice? I'm doing teaching, or can you write me a reference? So, I can't believe that those students are in Year 11. I don't even know where that time's gone, but they would have been in Year 7 when I was at Gulgong, yes.
Who would you like to see on our podcast next?
Oh, of course, netball players. Like, it has to be netball players, right? And I know your next question is about, can I put you in contact with them? I absolutely can. I have lots of contacts in netball, and I could probably even use those contacts to get other sports people. But definitely I think I could get you Joe Harton, who was the English captain. I could get you Amy Parmenter. I could get you the coach of the Swifts, the coach of the Giants. I could even get you a lady by the name of Lisa Behag, who used to coach Australia. So I've got a few contacts that I could use, and of course I'd love to see netball people on your podcast, but any sporting people I think would be pretty cool.
Who is your favourite netball player?
Oh, that is my favourite netball player. You wouldn't know probably. Her name was Carissa Toombs. She played for Australia a long time ago. My current favourite player? Oh, you know who I think? Only because I know she came from a regional area and went through an academy. You know Sophie Fawns, who plays for the Swifts? She's a shooter. She's only really, really young. But what I like about her is she comes from the Riverina area, like in Wagga. And so she's a country player who's come through the pathway for country players. So she's one of my favourites because I saw her grow up as a junior and saw her playing in the academy games. And now I see her playing Suncorp Super Netball. So Sophie Fawns.
Okay. What's your favourite position?
Has to be goal attack because that's what I played.
That's my favourite as well.
My favourite.
It is, but you know what? It's my favourite position. Do you know, what do you think I think is the most important position in netball?
Centre.
Sorry?
Centre.
Nope.
Goal shooter?
Nope.
Goal defence.
You probably won't guess. No.
Goalkeeper?
Wing defence. Wing defence. Why do you think I say wing defence? Because most people don't think wing defence is important.
I don't know.
No idea.
Well, if teams have a really good wing attack that can control their attack end, they can actually really dominate. So if you have a really strong wing defence that can keep that playmaker out of the match, it can really make a difference. And wing defences really help bring the ball down into the attack end. So I really like strong wing defences. That probably surprised you, right?
What is your favourite Suncorp Super Netball team?
The Swifts. Followed closely by the Giants.
If you get the chance, would you like to come back to visit us?
Absolutely. If I'm out that way for work or if I happen to be popping out there, I would love to come back and visit.
Thanks so much for your time. We have loved having you as a guest on our podcast show.
No, look, I've really enjoyed talking to you, as I said, and I really am honest and truthful about the fact that working at Gulgong High School was my favourite job, and working alongside your principal, Mr. Lewis, was fantastic. I used to talk to him nearly every day, and we did a lot of stuff together with the schools, and I really enjoyed that.